Hi, how are you guys?
Guys.
Okay, so already
Yeah.
a
I
little informal,
a
right?
little off.
But then it gets even weirder.
Okay.
It says you watching Fozzie Network,
Whoa.
and then, like, nothing else. Just healthy life.
Wow. So, like, what are we supposed to make of that?
I mean, seriously, that's the whole thing.
It's wild, right?
That's like a train wreck you can't look away from.
It really is.
So that's what we're diving into today.
All right, let's do it. All right, so let's dive into something I think we all know we should be doing. But, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's tough to prioritize
Yeah, definitely.
exercise, especially as we get older.
Yeah.
This deep dive is all about uncovering why it matters so much and how to make it work for you,
Right.
no matter your current fitness level.
Absolutely.
And to make sure we're getting the best advice, we're tapping into the wisdom
Yeah.
of Harvard Health Publishing and the Mayo Clinic.
Those guys,
Those folks really know their stuff.
they do. They really do. And it's interesting because we often think of exercise as a way to, lose weight or look better.
Right.
But it's so much more than that.
Okay, so what's the big deal with exercise as we age? I mean, besides the obvious stuff, like maybe keeping up with the grandkids a little easier?
Well, it's about protecting your future self,
Mm.
in a way.
Okay.
Sedentary folks are a whopping 44% more likely to struggle with depression,
Wow.
which is a pretty big motivator to get moving.
Yeah.
But beyond mood, think about this exercise affects nearly every organ.
Really?
It's not just about heart health, although that's a huge piece.
Right.
We're talking brain power, strong bones,
Wow.
even reducing the risk of some cancers.
I knew it was good for you, but I didn't realize the impact was that widespread.
Oh, yeah.
But some people might be thinking, like, I haven't exercised in years.
Right.
Isn't it too late to start?
It's never too late.
Real.
Even a little bit is better than none.
Yeah.
Think of it like this. Every time you choose to move, you're making a deposit into your health bank account.
Oh, I like that.
Those deposits add up over time.
I like that analogy. Okay, so let's say I'm ready to make those deposits.
Okay.
Where do I even begin? Is it all about hitting the gym and sweating buckets?
Not necessarily. The experts break it down into what they call the 4 pillars of fitness.
Okay.
Think of it like building a house.
Okay.
You need a strong foundation.
Yeah.
These pillars are aerobic exercise, strength training, stretching, and balance.
Okay, so it's more than just endless treadmill sessions.
Yeah.
Break down these pillars for me.
Right.
What counts as aerobic for someone who maybe hasn't been super active lately?
Well, aerobic exercise is all about getting your heart pumping
Okay.
and lungs working harder.
Okay.
This doesn't have to be intense.
Mm-hmm.
Brisk walking, swimming, even dancing around your living room.
Uh-huh.
All of those count.
So if I'm out dancing with friends, I can consider that a workout. I'm into that.
Absolutely. It's about finding activities you enjoy.
Right.
That way you're more likely to stick with it.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings us to strength training.
Okay.
Now, don't let the name intimidate you.
Yeah. Yeah, when I hear strength training, I picture those massive weightlifting competitions.
Right.
Definitely not my scene.
It's not about bulking up.
Okay.
It's about maintaining muscle mass,
Okay.
which naturally declines as we get older.
Right.
Think simple things like squats, lunges, or using resistance bands.
So even just doing some squats while I'm waiting for the kettle to boil could be beneficial.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Every bit counts.
Okay.
And strength training is particularly important for preventing falls, which can be of serious concern as we age. Now let's talk about stretching.
Okay.
We all know that feeling of stiffness,
Oh, yeah.
especially first thing in the morning.
Oh, tell me about it. I swear some mornings it takes a Herculean effort just to get out of bed.
I know.
But honestly, stretching is something I often forget.
It's easy to overlook,
Yeah.
but so important for maintaining flexibility and range of motion.
Okay.
Think about reaching for something on a high shelf or
Mhm.
bending down to tie your shoes.
Right.
Those everyday movements become much easier when you're flexible.
That's a good point. It's not just about touching your toes, it's about functionality in daily life.
Exactly.
So we've covered aerobic exercise, strength training, and stretching.
Right.
What's the final pillar?
The 4th pillar is balance,
Mm.
which, like muscle mass, tends to decline with age.
Hmm.
Simple exercises like standing on one leg while you brush your teeth.
Okay.
Or practicing heel-toe walking can make a huge difference.
I almost tripped over my own feet the other day,
Oh, no.
which made me realize how crucial balance really is. What else can we do to improve balance?
Activities like Tai Chi and yoga are fantastic,
Right.
as they incorporate slow, controlled movements that challenge your balance and coordination.
All right, I'm starting to get the picture here.
Yeah.
A well-rounded fitness routine for someone our age should include elements of all four of these pillars.
You got it.
But now I'm wondering, how much is enough?
Right.
Is there a magic number?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
How much is enough to actually see those benefits we're talking about?
Exactly.
Unfortunately, it's not a one-size-fits-all answer.
Right.
Factors like your current fitness level, any health conditions, and your personal goals all come into play.
Okay.
But generally, the experts recommend at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic exercise per week,
Okay.
plus strength training twice a week.
Okay, so that sounds doable, but what does moderate intensity even mean?
Right.
How do I know if I'm pushing hard enough but not overdoing it?
Well, think of it this way. You should be able to hold a conversation while exercising,
Okay.
but not be able to sing.
Okay.
That's a good gauge for moderate intensity.
Okay.
Or pay attention to your breathing.
Okay.
If you're breathing heavily but can still talk in short sentences, you're in the right zone.
That makes sense. So 30 minutes of brisk walking 5 times a week, plus some squats and lunges a couple of times, that could be a good starting point.
Exactly. But here's the most important thing. The best exercise is the one you enjoy and will actually stick with.
Right.
If you hate running, don't force yourself to do it.
Yeah.
Find something you genuinely like, whether it's dancing, gardening, swimming, or hiking with a friend.
That's such a refreshing perspective. It
Right.
shouldn't feel like a chore.
No.
It should be something you look forward to. But what about the flip side? Can you actually exercise too much? I've heard stories of people pushing themselves too hard and ending up injured.
It's definitely possible to overdo it, especially as we age. Our bodies need more time to recover, and pushing through pain is never a good idea.
Okay.
Signs that you might be overdoing it include persistent muscle soreness,
Mm-hmm.
feeling exhausted instead of energized,
Yeah.
and taking longer than usual to bounce back after workouts.
Okay.
Remember, rest and recovery are just as important as exercise itself.
So it's a balancing act. You
Yeah,
want
it
to
is.
challenge yourself,
Right.
but also listen to your body's signals. Speaking of pushing too hard, I'm curious about the idea that exercise can help with weight management.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like people often overestimate how many calories they burn during a workout.
You're right, there are a lot of misconceptions about exercise and weight loss.
Yeah.
It's not a simple equation of calories in, calories out.
All right.
Exercise does burn calories, of course.
Yeah.
But it also plays a much bigger role.
Okay.
It helps you build lean muscle mass, which burns more calories at rest than fat does.
Oh.
So the more muscle you have, the higher your metabolism and the more efficiently your body burns calories,
Okay.
even when you're not actively working out.
So it's almost like an investment. You put in the work to build muscle,
Yeah,
and that muscle keeps working for you even when you're sleeping.
exactly. It's like having a little calorie-burning furnace running in the background.
I like that.
But it's important to remember that exercise alone isn't a magic bullet for weight loss. It needs to be paired with a healthy diet to see significant and sustainable results.
It's a dynamic duo.
Yes?
Exercise and smart nutrition working together to achieve a healthy weight ratio. Okay, we've talked about physical health.
Right.
But what about the mental and emotional benefits of exercise?
Mm.
It seems like everyone's buzzing about the mind-body connection these days.
It's not just hype. There's real science behind it. Exercise is like a natural antidepressant.
Oh, wow.
It releases those feel-good brain chemicals that can lift your mood,
Okay.
reduce stress, and even improve sleep quality.
Really?
It's also been shown to sharpen memory and cognitive function, which is especially important as we get older.
So I could be sharper, happier, and sleep better, all thanks to exercise. Sign me up.
Right.
But honestly, sometimes the hardest part is just getting started, especially if you've been inactive for a while.
Yeah.
What advice would you give someone who's feeling overwhelmed and doesn't know where to begin?
Start small and be patient. Don't try to do too much too soon, or you'll likely get discouraged. Even just a few minutes of walking each day can make a difference.
Okay.
And remember, find something you enjoy.
Yeah.
Maybe it's dancing, gardening,
Right.
taking a yoga class, or simply walking with a friend.
Mm-hmm.
The key is to make it fun and sustainable.
That's such sound advice. Don't compare yourself to others.
Right.
Just focus on your own progress.
Exactly.
And celebrate those small wins along the way. But what about those of us who might have physical limitations?
Yeah.
Is exercise still safe and beneficial if you have arthritis or mobility issues?
Absolutely. Exercise can be adapted to suit individual needs and abilities. There are plenty of low-impact exercises, chair exercises, and modifications that can make Staying active, accessible to everyone.
Oh, okay.
Water aerobics, for example, is a fantastic option for people with joint pain, as the buoyancy of the water supports your body and reduces stress on your joints.
That's great to hear. It's truly for everyone. I'm thinking back to my grandparents. The ones who stayed active were the ones who were able to enjoy their later years the most. They had the energy to travel to garden, to stay engaged with life. That's really inspiring.
And that's what it's all about, maintaining your independence, your mobility, and your zest for life.
Yeah.
It's not just about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years.
Beautifully said. Okay, one final question before we move on. We've talked a lot about the benefits, but what about the risks? Are there any potential downsides to exercising as we get older? I mean, should we be worried about pushing ourselves too hard and injuring ourselves?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have that in the back of their minds.
You hear all this good stuff, but then you think, oh, but what if I injure myself?
Right. It's smart to be cautious. As with any activity, there are potential risks, but for most older adults, the benefits of exercise far outweigh the risks.
Okay.
It's all about finding that sweet spot where
Right.
you're challenging yourself, but not pushing to the point of pain or exhaustion.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, if you have any pre-existing health conditions, it's always a good idea to chat with your doctor
Yeah,
before starting a new workout routine.
that makes sense. So start slowly, listen to your body, and get the green light from your doctor if you have any concerns. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. The 4 pillars of fitness finding activities. We enjoy the importance of listening to our bodies. But before we wrap up, I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier, the link between exercise and a reduced risk of certain cancers. Can you tell us more about that?
Absolutely. It's a fascinating area of research and one that more people should be aware of. Studies have shown that regular physical activity can significantly lower the risk of developing certain types of cancer, including colon breast and endometrial cancer.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. So, on top of all the other benefits, exercise could potentially help us fight off cancer. Do we know why that is?
Well, while the exact mechanisms are still being studied, it's believed that exercise may help boost the immune system,
Okay.
reduce inflammation, and help regulate hormone levels, all of which can play a role in cancer prevention.
Okay.
It's like giving your body an extra layer of defense.
I'm definitely feeling motivated to move more after learning about all these benefits. But I know some listeners might still be feeling a bit intimidated or overwhelmed. Any final words of wisdom to help us get started on this journey to a healthier, more active lifestyle?
Well, think of it as a lifelong adventure, not a sprint to the finish line.
Okay.
Start with small, achievable goals, like taking the stairs instead of the elevator or parking further away from the store entrance. And find an activity you genuinely enjoy. Maybe it's dancing, gardening, joining a hiking group, or taking a yoga class. Whatever brings you joy, make it part of your routine.
It's all about finding that joy in movement, right? I love that. And remember, it's never too late to start. Every step you take towards a more active life is a step towards a healthier, happier you.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Keep moving, keep exploring, and keep celebrating the incredible power of your body.
Well, on that inspiring note, we've reached the end of our deep dive into exercise and fitness for seniors. We hope this has helped you understand the incredible benefits of staying active no matter your age or fitness level. Remember, even small changes can make a big difference. So what small step will you take today to incorporate more movement into your life? Until next time, fellow knowledge seekers, keep diving deep.